United-based sponsor on the channel, teamwallart.com. The link is in the description. Worldwide shipping, and it's unbelievable, guys. As I've told you before, this is the sort of stuff that you can get from these guys. My favourites on the end here. Accused of everything, guilty of nothing since 1919. You can get this one for $5.99 if you buy another one for $7.99. And I did that. I've got the one of Marcelo Bielsa here. A beautiful image. Really good quality as well, by the way. And of course, the title winning boys. Some really good stuff on there, guys. As I said, the link is in the description. I went to these guys. I love this sort of stuff. And they are Leeds United fans. Go check it out. Enjoy the video. Hello everybody, hope you're doing fantastically well. It is Connor here, it is One Leeds, and we are back with your opposition preview. And you're probably thinking to yourself, Connor, you're by yourself. And yes, I am. We are waiting for Dan Lawless from West Ham Fan TV. I thought I'd just check in. I thought I'd ask how you're all doing on this fine Sunday. Leeds United on the way to London. I believe they're getting the train down. And a certain somebody, if you check out the One Leeds Twitter page, a certain somebody, we're not confirming, we're not denying, but it does look a little bit like Calvin Phillips was with the squad today going down. And I'll just get a little photo up here. We'll see if we can properly see it. We've got the caption, Brownie's put it on, so there is a chance. And there's a little man right there. Don't know if you can quite see it, but it's very, very similar. So you can see the image if you want to see the more detail on the One Leeds Twitter page. But it could be Calvin Phillips. It could be Calvin Phillips, and hopefully we will see him back. Matt, I don't like this view. Sorry, it's me. I can't help it. Can't help anything about that. I hope you guys did enjoy the Weakest Link video as well. Watch the Weakest Link video. It was genuine. It was such a laugh. It was such a laugh. If you haven't already, make sure you go check it out. Also on Leeds Live, which is the company that I work for, we did an anniversary video, guys. So if you want to go check that out as well, it's a bit of goosebump kind of feel, if I will say so myself. But yeah, the EFC Lewis video was really funny. Really enjoyed it. Some people, for some reason, are still trying to create narratives that there are certain people who hate each other. It's absolute rubbish, tosh. We're all on great terms. We're all fine. We always have been fine. It's just Leeds United fans online, for some reason, with the Leeds United community, they love creating drama. No idea why. No idea why, but we're all friends. You can see that last night, and we're all one. And that's why we like creating content like that. That's why we all like creating content together. Hence why we were all there. It would be a bit weird, wouldn't it? It'd be a bit strange if none of us liked each other, if there was tension between certain people. It's absolute rubbish. And as John says here, good to see you and all Leeds TV in the same room again. Listen, we're absolutely fine. Me and Joe text every day. As I said, it's just people like to create this narrative that there's a problem. There's never been a problem. As I always say, I left all Leeds TV because I just wanted to pursue my own thing. I wanted to work on my own thing. I wanted to be creative in my own right. That was it. That was it. They're doing a great job over there. There's no animosity. There never has been. Just for some strange reason, people want to create that animosity, which I find very, very odd. But yeah, it was all a good laugh, and I hope you all enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. And we're going to be doing something quite similar on our channel. Not like that really, but a little bit of a quiz that me and Brownie are going to be sorting, and we're going to make it a weekly thing, which is something really exciting. And yeah, me and Brownie are going to be sorting it very, very soon. So we'll have a bit of rivalry on that. Just trying to vary up the content a little bit instead of just the standardized, previews, opposition previews, which are great. But I know you guys like watching a lot of other one. Connor hates Joe and Joe kicked Connor out. That was it. Absolute scumbag, Wayneman. I know you're watching. Vader, Rodrigo and Phillips travelled to London. But listen, Calvin Phillips, that's definitely. But Bamford signed for Borough, right? Listen, when I got that question wrong, that was shocking, right? I thought it was a riddle. Literally, Lewis just went, Patrick Bamford from, and I didn't hear him. And there was a really small time frame. And he was like, Patrick Bamford from? And I went, Patrick Bamford from? And I'd have got the question wrong anyway, because he's from Nottingham. But I thought he was asking where he was born, where he was from. So I just said Chelsea. I don't know why that came to my head, but I did a signing profile on Patrick Bamford when he came from Borough. I know he came from Borough. But what I will say, guys, nobody understands until you're under the lights, until you've got those pressured questions coming at you really quickly. It's easy watching it, honestly, but when you're there, God, it is pressure. But yeah, as we say, guys, Danny's going to be coming up really soon, but he's just getting a few things sorted. But we've got a lot to talk about tonight. If you haven't already, make sure you check out me and Brownie. We did our sort of preview last night. We've done 3 things that we needed to learn from West Ham as well. Big things going into this game. But, if Berardi's with the squad, if Calvin's with the squad, if Poveda potentially is there, we know he doesn't get as much game time as we'd like. But if Rodrigo's there as well, all the gang are sort of back together. We're going to have options, and hopefully it makes it more of a competitive game. I'm not saying it's not going to be a competitive game, but it's going to be very, very difficult against a stronger West Ham side and a sort of much weakened Leeds United side. We need bodies back ASAP. But guys, we do have Dan with us now, which is great to see. Dan the man, how you doing, mate? Back on One Leeds, you all right?
Yeah, all good, mate, all good. Great to be back.
Yeah,
loving football right now.
Good to see you, mate. What's new apart from your team absolutely romping the league at the minute?
Yeah, like I said, apart from that, not much. Same old lockdown business, innit? And we're just just keeping the channel ticking and doing our videos, mate, and enjoying doing them for a change.
Yeah, I was gonna say, mate. I've been watching West Ham Fan TV for a number of years now. I think I commented on a couple of videos years and years ago when you guys responded when you were only small, and it was one of those things where you used to tune into West Ham Fan TV and it used to just be absolute carnage. It was just pure, against Golden Sullivan. It was nothing's going right, but it seems to have turned around, mate. It seems to, at last, with West Ham, it's going in the right direction.
Yeah, like those first few seasons at the stadium were just pure chaos, pure chaos, just fights everywhere, especially where I was. Like every game there'd be a punch up. And yeah, like now we seem to turn a corner. I'm still not believing, completely that we've turned a corner until I need to see this more than one season. I need to see it like back-to-back seasons. I want to see consistency over a number of seasons rather than just have one good season. And because we had a decent season under Pellegrini when we finished 10th, only a few points off of 7th. But the players we've got in, like Lingard is another one. We've made all the right signings, which has made a massive difference. And we haven't done that before. Every single signing since Moyes has come in has been good. And I think that has made a huge difference.
Yeah, definitely. And I think last time we spoke, mate, it was a game you were sort of a bit nervous about. And I think Leeds have had that effect with a lot of teams this year in terms of we either beat them or we lose. There's no draws in between with Leeds. It's been a nut season, mate. I think we've won, it's either 11 or 12 games and we've lost 13. So it's just been absolutely balmy. Since we've last spoken and just in generally, really, Dan, what have you made of Leeds this season?
I was saying this that the other day is Leeds, I find such a frustrating team to watch because I watched the Aston Villa game and I watched the Arsenal game particularly. And it's just that the final ball, the finishing, you have all this possession and then just some of the decision making or the execution. And I just think, imagine what it must be like for a Leeds fan at times. Like it's really enjoyable football, but comes to a point where when you're behind and you're chasing the game, you need to be a little bit more clinical and have a bit of quality. I know you guys have some injuries and things like that. And Rafinha has been good, but he can't do it all on his own. So yeah, I particularly find it, especially those games where I wanted to see Leeds win that game. So I wanted to see them beat Aston Villa. I wanted to see them beat Arsenal, right? So that's why I could sort of put myself in the shoes of a Leeds fan and I was just feeling so frustrated. It's like, why did you play the ball there instead of there? And
this is what we're like all the time.
yeah.
I think, to be honest, it is, and you'll be able to help us out on this, really, Dan, because obviously when you came up for the Championship, it was a good, like 5 or 6 years ago now. But with us,
probably 10 years ago, nearly 10.
Is it 10 now? Bloody hell.
Yeah.
But we've, if we have injuries with this side, it turns into, Fulham have got the depth of having someone like maybe Anguissa on the bench or Lookman on the bench, and their royalties that they have, it's incredible when we miss certain players, because we've not had parachute payments, have been that yo-yo club for years. We've been 16 years out of the top flight. We've not been up, we've not been down, we've been down and down. So I think we've not been able to grow the squad at all. And I think when we have certain players out, we have to bring 23s in and 23s in. And I think you have to build a squad over a period of time in the Premier League, don't you? It takes years and years to sustain.
No, I mean, absolutely. And you're right. Like Fulham as well. When they went up and down, they managed to keep some of their good players, Mitrovic and things like keep it at the club. And I think that has been a key. And obviously, you're doing better than Fulham. But yeah, when we came up, I remember it was Big Sam, and it was similar. All we wanted was that stability, and we finished 10th, I think, the first season we came up under Big Sam, which was a great season. When you first come up, that's what you're looking for. You just want a nice, steady season. And as much as you guys have been up in there, you've never been involved in a relegation battle throughout the whole season. Like no one's mentioned Leeds really, and the possibility of. There was a point where you was getting a few results. People say, and I could see a few Leeds fans were like, "But that's just being a pessimist." When you're a fan of your club, you're always going to be pessimistic. But for the neutrals, Leeds have never been looked at a club to go down, and that's all you can ask for in your first season. So we had that. And then we was able to stabilise. And even though the football, I mean, look, the night and day for Bielsa and Big Sam, but he stabilised us. And it got to the point where we actually started having that turnaround under Big Sam. We had that season, 2014-15 season, where we was up in the top four. Stuart Downing was like having a blinder and that. And then they decided not to give him a new contract. And then it just derailed our season. But I think look, whatever happens, it's frustrating, but ultimately, like, mission accomplished for your season, because the summer is key. It's all about the summer. Whatever you can get out of this season is great, but it's about replacing some of those championship level players and building something, and then you could have something really special, because you've got some real quality players. It's just them key gaps and them key holes that just need to be filled. So it's going to be interesting. Next season, I'm very interested to see what Leeds do.
Yeah, I think we all are, mate. I think it'll be a bit more. We'll be able to judge them a little bit more next year, because we've looked at players like Rafinha, Rafinha, I don't know if you've watched a lot of him, Dan, but he's a bit of a freak. He's a freak, really. And I agree with what you're saying in a sense. We are sort of playing through him a lot at this minute. And I think there's a lot of that because of injuries. But I think in terms of having a world-class and elite player, we do play a lot through him, and you can see that. We saw that in the last game against Villa. It was, well, what do we do? Pass the ball to Rafinha and hope that he does something. And I think the thing with West Ham is right now there's so many. Maybe where once you'd had to go through Arnautovic, that'd have been that's the key man. Whereas now there's Lingard, there's Antonio, there's Yarmolenko off the bench, but then there's Lanzini. You've got so many players who can cause a lot of problems.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And we don't have that one player now where if they're injured, that's it. It's completely derailed. Like with Arnautovic, like with Payet, we have a good, solid team. And with Antonio, like we saw it when Antonio got injured, we still kept ticking along and picking up results. I think we had Antonio out when we faced you guys. It was Allaire was up front. And we ended up winning that game. So the strength of the team has definitely helped us. We got Ben Rama, like who's there, and Lanzini's on the bench. So you got some decent players on the bench, but Souček and Rice, Lingard, just all over the pitch. Jared Bowen, who you probably remember from the Championship, and so that's what I'm happy with. It's that team, and that's always, I think, the best when you can get to that point where you just have a strong team and there's no real one person that you can say is right, this is the guy that's sort of carrying the team. I think that's definitely what you want to aspire to. Having that special player is always nice, but I think that's why I think next in the summer, and I think Rafinha, because there's obviously been some talk, and it's natural that, this club wants this player now because they've shown a bit of something, like Man United or Man City or Chelsea want this player, but when I look at that, and I think he's obviously not going to be in a rush to leave Leeds. And I think as long as Leeds show that yeah, we want to bring other quality players in. We're not just going to sit here and rely on you all the time. Like, we're going to spend some money and we're going to strengthen it. I think he'll be able to see that there's a project going on. Because I was talking about this with another Leeds fan. It's this sort of arrogance that they can just offer like a 25, 30 million for your players. You know what I mean? Like, you're clean, like with Rice, whether it's Rice or Rafinha or even like a Grealish, as much as I can't stand him. They think they can just offer you a paltry amount and you just like be like, oh, thank you, go and take my player.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, there's the rhetoric that because we were after Dan James in the Championship and Bielsa wanted him. There's a rhetoric now. Oh yeah, we'll pay 15 million for Rafinha, and then we'll give you Dan James. Like, no, you don't. Like, I know you're a big club, I know you're a massive club, but that's not how it works. Like, you're not.
Yeah.
Having that.
That's what we had with Rice. I saw it was like, yeah, if you you want Lingard, right? We'll give you Lingard and Phil Jones and one matter, and you give us Declan Rice. We're like, no, like if it came out, it's like keep Lingard. I love him, but no, I'm not doing that deal. And yeah, I think that they don't realize that football has changed massively, and the money in the game, you know, and throughout all the teams have spending power. It's not like it was, 20 years ago. Like, even when you look back to when we sold you guys like Rio Ferdinand, those were the times when you look at a club and you think financially, like, we needed to make that sale, to keep afloat and to keep ticking along, and now football's changed. Like, we don't have to make them type of sales. You don't have to make them sales, and even teams like Brighton don't. There's so much stability. So I think that's
you think as well with the market as well. It's like, well, even with Declan Rice, even with like Rafinha, if these big clubs are wanting to spend, I don't know, 50, 60 million on Rice and then Rafinha, it's not in the current market. It's not a cheap fee anymore, is it? It's not like just slapping around 50 and 60 million anymore.
Yeah, that's it. And a lot of people will look at when your teams, like when we put on and say like we want 80 to 100 million for Rice, or if you guys was to say you want 80 million to 90 million for Rafinha, or whatever they want for Grealish, it's not about the fact that that's what that player's worth, like, because that's what it's Rice ain't worth 80 million. No, that's what he's worth to us. That's what we're willing to let him go for. If you want us to sell him to you, that's what you have to pay. Otherwise you can keep moving. And people have this outrage, like, they have a right to buy the player for cheap because they're just because they're a big club, and that's not the case, So if a team wants to slap down a big ridiculous price tag on a player, then that's what they want to do. They don't want to let the player go. The cards are in our hands, So yeah, it's no, I think Rafinha will be there next season, despite all the papers trying their best to move him on.
That's it, mate. We love it. Last time we played, anyway. To be honest, Dan, it was a little bit of in areas I thought we got bullied. Your physicality was a serious problem. We've actually improved when it comes to set pieces. I think we've only conceded one set piece goal in 10 games, I think it is. So we've massively improved in that, whereas before it was every game. And I just thought with West Ham that they came, schooled us, and it could have been, when you look at the game, we actually could have nicked a draw at the end. Rodrigo had a massive chance, but overall, I think as Leeds fans, we will concede. Fornells, I think, just skimmed wide. I think Ogbonna hit the post. Yeah. It was a bit of a. I thought personally it was a little bit of a lesson. What did you take away from it?
Yeah, I mean, look, that wasn't how any of us imagined the game. I mean, when I predicted a win, I think I predicted like a high scoring win, like from both sides. And, I mean, Leeds were thinking a high scoring win and for Leeds. And it was crazy, especially at the way the game started. It was just a really bad pass from Allaire. And just a crazy giving a penalty away from Fabianski, and you're like, and you got that, and then we'd save the penalty. Then that whole business came in the VAR and the line, and you just thought like, oh no, not already. And then
there we go again.
Like that's it. We just thought like, oh, here we go, like, and we just stepped it up and we kept moving. I think that has been our strength this season, and what has been our downfall so many times is when we'd go behind, it would literally be like, right, the floodgates are opening now. The next goal, when's the next goal? When the next goal going to come? But now we'll go from behind and we fight back, and we fought back, and like I said, we were in control for a large period of that game. Our finishing did, like you said, let us down in certain periods, which is Yeah, that's missing some blatant chances. I think has been an issue for us a lot of times this season. But yeah, I was really happy to come away to Leeds as well. That was a huge result, and that was a time when we was both near each other around in the table as well. We was both in and around that similar positions. So it wasn't like we was going there as we are now, flying. We was doing all right, and we was happy with our season. So yeah, that was a big result and a big performance, and yeah, we just kicked on from there, mate.
So you've just got obviously we'll look at Lingard, Dawson, Souček going from level to level as well. Have you got even stronger since we've last played? Because you do get that feel with West. Well, I mean, the table doesn't lie. You have got stronger.
Yeah, I mean, Lingard has made such a massive difference.
What does he do, Dan? What does he do that's different to Benrahma? Because they sort of pick up the same role, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I think Lingard is a little bit more direct. And the thing is, whereas Benrahma, who I like to see for this game, I want to see Benrahma and Lingard in the same team. Because when they did play, I think it was against Villa together, like Lingard, Benrahma, and Antonio linked up really well. But there's something about Lingard, the way he just drives forward, and he's just got so much energy. And he's always just trying to go from A to B. It's not he's not tend to sort of trying to pass to the side or run around or just trying to take players on here and there. And it's literally he'll just burst down, play it off to someone, and his movement as well. His off the ball movement has been spectacular. So yeah, I think that energy that he has injected into our midfield has just given us such a massive lift. And yeah, like that, because like I said, we didn't have him last time. Antonio was out last time as well, so Antonio is back and he's scoring again. I think he got 2 back-to-back goals. He scored against Tottenham and he scored against Man City. So he's coming back into fitness, back into form. And yeah, like even for now, so we've got options. Whether I would like to see Benrahma start over Fornals. I think some games are good for Fornals, like a Man City. But if we can get Benrahma attacking wise, we're looking good. I think that the worry is obviously Ogbonna is missing. Ogbona's out injured.
I thought he was excellent against us last time. He's very good.
Diop has stepped in really well. I can't remember if Dawson was playing at that point against you guys, or I don't think he was, Dawson, but he's been brilliant. Like since we got Dawson in, and he shocked us all. None of us rated him. Everyone else was like, when we signed him, what are we doing? Like we've signed Watford's worst player, and
he seems to do that wherever he seems to do that wherever he goes, Dawson, doesn't he? He just proves everyone wrong all the time.
Yeah, it's like honestly, like Watford fans were laughing their heads off when we signed him, and he hasn't had a bad game. He has not had a bad game. And since Diop has come in alongside him, like Diop has been brilliant. And I think his experience has helped him. Another big worry, though, is a player that we might not have. It could be Fabianski. Balbuena, yeah. So Balbuena, and I feel sorry for him because he was ahead of Diop, but then he got injured warming up to come on against Man United, and Diop came on. Now Diop has kept his place. But yeah, Fabianski might not be fit. That is the question mark. Is Fabianski fit? If he's not fit, Darren Randolph, our number 2, might not be fit.
Yeah, so I've heard Randolph's not fit, is he, apparently?
No, he wasn't fit in the Man City game, and he hurt his leg, taking a goal kick. He pulled something or something. So we had to have Dawson as the kicker. So it's going to be probably either Fabianski or David Martin, who hasn't played. I think he might have played like a cup game like earlier in the season, the Carling Cup or Carabao Cup. So that is going to be that's the big area of worry for me, is the goalkeeper situation. If Fabianski's fit, I'll feel a lot more comfortable going into it. But yeah, no, and that's what I think. I think our team is, the way we're set up is sort of perfectly set up to play like Leeds. Because of the way our defense it's been so solid and so organized. Like when we played Man City, they had such trouble breaking us down.
You were so unlucky in that game, Dan. You were so unlucky in that game, I thought. No, I don't know if we've lost Dan there. Might have lost Dan. There we go. I think we might have lost Dan. Is he here? Has he gone? Right. Okay. Well, there you go. I think Dan's gone from the stream, guys. But it was interesting what he was saying. I'll just text him now and ask if he's coming back in. I think your internet went. But yeah, interesting what was being said there, I thought. And, you know, we've got in sort of about 20, 25 minutes of the interview there. Listen, it's very interesting what Dan's saying, and I think he's coming back in now at some point. But yeah, very, very interesting in terms of the combinations, in terms of how they're going to be set up. And what I do think with West Ham is it's when Rice and Souček form a back seven. And I was going to ask Dan about that, and he's just joining back in now. But when they form a back seven, they just revert into centre backs, and it's going to be really, really difficult for Leeds to be able to break them down. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure how we're going to do that. But the good thing is we've got Rodrigo. It looks like, from what a lot of people are saying, has travelled down to London. You know, there's a lot of people talking about Calvin Phillips as well. So it's going to be a really, really interesting game. Dan's here now. Here he is. Back in.
I've had to hotspot off my phone rather than do the whole go and reset the router and all of that business. Bloody annoying.
You were clean, mate, and then you started going.
Yeah, it does. It just does that sometimes. It just goes. So I need to get onto that. But no, I was just saying, no, our defense is so well organized. Like Man City, obviously, the attack they have, they said it was their most difficult game in this whole sort of winning streak that they're on, and we was able to just keep our shape really well. Like anytime we would have to get back and defend, we'd get back quickly, keep our shape, just be well organized and tight, and then able to go and attack quickly. And I think that is what I think Lingard has done really for us, is being able to counter attack just effectively, because a lot of time I was just so slow on the counter. It was just really ineffective. So we'd have to wait until we could slow the game down and build up some possession again. But now we was able to just hit teams. So I think that is why we're sort of really well set up to play Leeds. But yeah, it's just you just never know on the day. So it's going to be a very interesting game.
What I don't know if you're aware of this, Dan, but Leeds have it. I don't know if you know about the London curse, which follows Leeds. I think we spoke about it last time.
Yeah, I've heard about this. Yeah,
Leeds haven't won in London since 2017. So it's been an absolute horror place. When Leeds fans see London, if we see Fulham, Chelsea, West Ham, whatever, it's not a good day. But in terms of where Leeds can expose you, I mean, we spoke about it last time. Has there been any sort of, with you becoming more expansive, are there more pockets for teams to hurt you at all, or is it just rigid at the back and it's still similar, but you've just improved going forward?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Now you brought up the London curse, though, just quickly. That does worry me, because if any team is going to break that curse, it's West Ham. Like, we love breaking those, like if you ain't scored in ages, like, or anything like that, whenever someone throws that stat, and I know like Sky or whatever it is, I think it's Sky is going to be throwing that out, and then we're going to lose. So yeah, I don't be too pessimistic. I'd give that a bit of hope for optimism for you. But yeah, no, I mean, for some reason lately, I found that we've been quite poor at conceding set pieces, where we was quite strong there before, actually. And in the last few games, that is sort of just some of our positioning for set pieces or crosses and things like that has been quite poor. So yeah, I think that could be a place Leeds can exploit us. I suppose still, if sort of pressing, as like if you're pressing, I think you could probably sort of catch us out at times there. If you press us, there are times where we can sometimes labor on the ball a bit, or just take a little bit too long to decide and find the right pass. So in those instances, if you're closing us down quickly and pressing, you could be on the attack and maybe and catch us out. And again, the goalkeeper situation, and this is what worries me, is because, you know, we're going to be facing a lot of shots, you know, depending, I don't know how many will be on target, but you got to imagine that there's going to be a few that is going to find its mark. And like I said, if the goalkeeper situation is not resolved, and we have got David Martin, then, you know, just take some shots and test the keeper, put him under pressure. I think that's honestly a really good way you can exploit us. But yeah, and obviously it's going to be interesting how your defense is on the day. I know you're missing. Is it Robin Koch?
Yeah, Robin. Yeah, he's out.
He was out last time, wasn't he? Was he? He didn't play. Did he play, or was he just back?
No, mate. We've had Rafinha, Rodrigo. So Rafinha joined halfway through the season, as in it started fully playing. Rodrigo's been in and out. Robin Koch, who we signed, has been out. Llorente's been out. So it's just been a championship side, Dan. Our investment it's just been a champion.
All this talk about Liverpool's injuries, eh?
But this is what I love about it, mate, because they'll get all the press, but the fact that we're 11th in the league with a championship side at this moment in time, really with Rafinha added to it, nobody ever speaks about that. If we lose, it's because Leeds are rubbish, they're too expansive. It's not because of the quality of player, and we've got 4 or 5 under 23s on the bench, and it's just interesting how, like, you know, we just never get any credit for it at all. That's what we all have a bit of a moan about as Leeds fans.
No, that's it. So yeah, it's going to be interesting if your defense is on point that day and can shut us down and just hit us quickly. And respond quickly on the counter. Not to say that you'll have to keep playing counter attack, but sometimes, especially, like we could take it like a crap set piece, and if you just break quick, that's another area where you can just catch us out. I mean, Liverpool is doing that.
You know what it is, Dan, as well. It's weird. We've sort of learned from the first half of fixtures that we've lost. I mean, we did it. I mean, the perfect example is Leicester. I mean, we got Leicester just outplayed us at Ellen Road, beat us 4-1, and then we went down there and we just changed. It was all, we weren't going hell for leather, but we just went counter-attack for the last sort of 30, 35 minutes. Rodrigo went off injured, but we just sort of took control of the game. And this was at the time, I think Leicester was second. They were about 4 or 5 points ahead of third. And the thing is with Leeds is we've just got that edge with Bielsa. So it's like, let's be right. The favourites in this game are going to be West Ham, of course. Yeah, they're the odds on. I think there's a lot of Leeds fans who know this is going to be a tough game. The thing with Leeds is because we're so unpredictable, you never know what's going to happen. We could, the likelihood is that we'll lose the game, but there's also a massive chance that Leeds will pull up another Leicester result. I mean, how many times have Leicester lost at home this year? It doesn't really happen.
That is the thing. Like, really, for this game, there's not much pressure on Leeds. The pressure is on us. If we want to sustain this top 4 race, we need to win this game. Like, we absolutely need to win this game if we want to get into that top 4. Teams around us are starting to drop points. Teams below us that are chasing are starting to drop points, like Liverpool lost and things like that. So, this is, depending on what happens with a couple other games, this win, us winning, could fire us back into the 4th place. So it's a huge, huge game for us. We have to win this game, and that could work in Leeds' advantage because of the fact. So it all depends on if we go into this game with the right mentality and the right tactics. Obviously, again, it's going to come down to that. And if Bielsa figures out the right way to play and again just doesn't decide to just go all out attacking, but can maybe find a way to be a little bit compact and try and counter attack, that could be the best way to go. Because I think if you do just try and play that expansive game throughout the whole 90 minutes, you just coming at us, that's where you could leave yourselves exposed at the back. And I think we're quite able to soak that up for periods of time, like we did against Man City, even though we ultimately went on to lose. But so it'll be interesting.
What sort of, because we've dealt with Dominic Calvert-Lewin quite well. We've dealt with Callum Wilson very well in terms of just strikers who you categorise in this league as good strikers. What sort of problems does Antonio pose as a striker? If you could just enlighten us a little bit, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, like he's completely just a different ball game. Antonio, he's completely different. He is a real handful. He is so strong. He is honestly so strong. I try to remember the team. It might have been Everton or was one team, and he was playing. He's running down, players just bounce off him, and he's got that pace. And it is so hard for defenders to deal with him because he has that strength and he has that quickness, and he can hold up the ball and he can take players on and he can drift that wide and put crosses in. So he offers like so many different dimensions to his game. Sometimes his finishing can let him down. Like he's a winger. He's a right winger who's been pushed in as a striker. But his ability to link up with other players, like whether it's a Lingard or a Ben Rama, his ability to burst and play off the shoulder as well, it definitely causes a lot of threats. But he's very difficult to mark. If you're trying to mark him, he's very difficult because he is so strong and he's a unit. That I think could cause a lot of problems, and I think having him back is a massive benefit. So I think the centre backs do have their work cut out for him.
Yeah, I think we've seen a lot. We've seen a lot of that from him, really, haven't we? It's just that, and there's such a willingness for him to put in that graft as well. He's always going to run, never going to stop. He's got a good fitness level, really.
Yeah, that's it. And obviously we had Allaire in last time round who didn't really fit the system, and so that's who you guys were up against. Whereas now Antonio is just, like I said, a whole different ball game. Having him in, there's just he has so much to his game, and I think that is really going to cause some problems for Leeds. So it's just providing he can stay fit. The big downside is sometimes because of his fitness issues, he can drift out of the game later on, and there are times where you think Moyes take him off, like he's getting tired. But he will just, because he will run himself into the ground. He will just run and run and run, and he will really work hard. So yeah, the concentration levels are going to have to be up at the back, and the fitness levels are going to have to be up because he's relentless. And I think if we can have a Ben Rama, Lingard, and Antonio like front three, the attack is going to be exciting. It's an exciting prospect, but it's going to be interesting to see whether he goes Ben Rama or Fornals, or if he puts Bowen on and that. And interesting if he plays a back five as well.
I mean, when you play a back five, it's not just a back five as well. We're just saying when you just went off there, Dan, it's Souček and Rice who also form a back 12. So I think that's what we had last time. We had the majority of the ball. The stats backed that up, but it was. I just thought last time West Ham would just hit us very, very effectively on the counter-attack, and we saw it. And there was a few issues with Leeds as well. I mean, we just kept giving silly fouls away on the edge of the box. When you've got Ogbonna, when you've got the likes of Dawson, when you've got Diop, when you've got Rice, Souček in particular, you can't be doing it. But I did wonder, Dan, with regards to the fans, is this going to continue with West Ham when the fans are back? Because you lot are probably like us. Well, I mean, very similar in terms of like a working class, hard, sort of club. Just in terms of just hard working club. But is it going to be easy to please the sort of West Ham fan base when you get back into the stadium if things do go a little bit pear-shaped for a month or so?
Yeah, do you know what? I look, as long as we can see the performances are there, because I think even games where we've lost, a lot of the times, it's only like the Newcastle game at the start of the season was our worst game of the season. Other games where we've picked up points, there's not really been too much of a backlash. A lot of it's going to depend. Again, a lot of it goes on the owners. It's not really the team that the fans really get on. It's just the owners. And if we get to a summer and they don't back David Moyes, then there could be a little bit more pressure on them again. And fans would maybe start up the protests and try and get them out, because at the same time, it's like we've done really well. Let's build on this. You've brought this guy in. We have to back the manager. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting with the fans. I do feel sorry that the Leeds fans haven't been able to be like you finally get in the Premier League, and you've been like playing some great football and had some really, really good results, and you just haven't been able to be there. So
Dan, do you know what's going to happen, mate? The first game of next season, we're going to be playing Norwich or Barnsley. I'm telling you, the first home game, we're going to play Norwich or Barnsley. I can just see it right now. That's
it. But they're saying that the last game of the season, they might be fans back in. So
that is West Brom. West Brom.
Is it West Brom? It's it's still going to be like a party atmosphere, regardless, I think. But I think we need to just, if we can make some more good signings, like Sofal has been amazing at right back. He has been, an absolute rock. Like he pocketed Grealish when we played him, And did
you get Sofal and Souček from Slavia Prague? Was it two signings from that club?
That's right.
How much did they cost you altogether, like for them both?
I'm trying to remember. I think it was about 15 million combined. I think, if I remember, 5 million for Sofal, and I think Souček was nearly just under 10, maybe. And they were brilliant. I mean, Souček was the one who told us to sign Sofal. Like, he was like, "Yeah, you need to sign this guy." He was like a scout for that one,
right?
And so it's he's Sofal is a rock. So whoever you've got on that left hand side, on the left wing, will have a difficult job, I think. Because he is an absolute rock, and going forward he's quite good. So I'm not sure who you have playing there, but it's
a little bit difficult at the minute, Dan, because we've got Jack Harrison, who's not really performing at that level. It's the inconsistencies with him, and I think that's what we're finding with a lot of our players. Just because of the quality, and I'm not doing them a disservice here. They've got us here. They've been brilliant. But to get up to that next level where we're competing week in, week out with these sides, there needs to be consistency. And I'm not saying we are going to sign Jack Harrison, which is great, but there needs to be added consistency to his game. And at this moment in time, going up against someone like him, it's going to be a difficult game for him. So we might see Rafinha going on that side instead, and then. Yeah, which will be a good battle, I think.
It will. I mean, if I was Bielsa, I would probably try and not do that, not put Rafinha there, and try and maybe not try and go down that left-hand side too much and focus maybe on the right-hand side where we could have Ben Johnson. If we're playing like a back five, we'll have Ben Johnson there, who is a younger player. He's good, but he's young, so there is a mistake in him or two, if not, if it's a back four, then it'll be Creswell, who, he's been really good this season, actually, but his best performances have been as part of that three at the back. That's going to be interesting. But that's why we've got so many like solid players all around the pitch. And I think that's where it makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. But the big worry again is Mike Dean is referee, and that's my big fear.
Your favourite.
And that is the thing. I was saying this the other day. Is the only thing I can hope is that whatever nonsense he does works in our favour. It works for us and not against us, because there's going to be something in there. There's going to be something, and I can imagine that in this game, the way both teams will be going, back and forth. I think there'll be quite a few fouls in this game, and I think he'll be itching to send someone off.
He's on seven so far, only this season.
I think he's got he's definitely got the record of all the referees managing refereeing in the Premier League now. He's got more red cards than anyone. And I would not be surprised if we saw a red card in this game. I hope not. I just want him to be just a non-entity, and we could just enjoy the game either way. But that is a big worry, is that he does like to insert himself into the game and make the headlines. So we'll just have to see. But I think Bielsa, you don't want to upset him. I see him at the end of the Villa game. He looked like he was going to tear his hair out. He's just crouching down, just screaming. I think you guys had just hit one wide or stayed.
Dan, you know what, mate? We never used to see that in the Championship. It's
really?
Like, and that's when you turn round and everyone's like, "Oh, he's going to leave." It's like, no chance, absolutely. Like how he's invested and how he wants this club to develop, and we've got a plan. And honestly, Dan, it's a great time to be a Leeds fan at the minute. And I think you've stuck with, and obviously you're a massive West Ham fan, but there are going to be good times, but there are going to be bad times as well. And I think that we've got a real run of fixtures coming up, and there could be some losses in there. As we all know, with the Premier League, it's an elite level, and I think it's just important, isn't it, always, Dan, to have perspective and know, if you're on, we're on 35 points, so we're not going to go down. It's just important to know the side that's there, who they're competing against. Because I tell you what, Dan, in the Championship, when you put together 4 or 5 wins and you got your Lutons in there, your Wigans, you've got a couple of easy games. There is not a single easy game in this division.
No, we've seen that time and time again, and I think a lot of the expectation came from mainly it's the media. When at the start of the season, you guys were just on fire. It was looking to the point where it was like Leeds could finish in that top 8. Like we could see Leeds finishing up there. And then now, because you're around that mid-table mark, people are thinking like it's bad. Like, oh, Leeds, Bielsa's not doing a good job, or this isn't going well. When actually, if you look on it, just take some perspective and think, actually, this is Leeds' first season up. Like I said, injuries, championship players. This is great. I was with my uncle, who's a Leeds fan before the season. It's like, all I want is just to stay up next season, maybe not be in a relegation battle, just nice, relaxed mid-table. That's all I want for that first season. And this is what you're getting. And that's the perfect platform to build. So all this talk about, Bielsa leaving, like what would Bielsa been expecting? You just go up in the, in the Premier League and European football. Yeah, it's like, no, like it's a process. It's a process. And this is step one of that Premier League process. And then it's just right. Okay, great. Let's build on it. Let's absolutely just try and find a way to build on it, capitalize, and just climb that table slowly but surely. And if you make the right signings, who knows where you guys could go. It's funny, actually, just quickly, I saw we was linked with your goalkeeper, which was just random. I don't know what that's. I think it's that situation now. People know we're in for a goalkeeper. We get linked with every single keeper. He looks about 12.
Yeah, he does. He's very good, to be fair. But I think now, as well, mate, I don't know what you think, but like the Portuguese league, the Spanish league, I was reading the other day, are really, really struggling in terms of finance, being able to fund certain things because of the pandemic. So I just can't imagine. This is where the top teams in this division go for like Rafinha or Rice. There's players out there who are absolutely, excellent footballers. And you think, the Premier League's actually not done very well, but it's survived a little bit better than those leagues. So you think to yourself, they're going to be dipping into those markets instead, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Like we showed it with the Czech league, 2 back-to-back gems getting from that league, and we're potentially going back in there, And if you get your scouting right and you really look at a player and not just look at their stats, but really look at how they can fit into the team and their capabilities and their, I think you can really sign some gems in those leagues. We got Lanzini from the Dubai league or something, and when we got him from there and we paid hardly anything for him, and he was great up until his injury. And in Payet, we paid 10 million for Payet, who is, we sold him for a lot less than what he was worth. That's like £100 million player essentially. But yeah, it just goes to show is you just go out, because if you keep trying to buy from English teams all the time,
it's no point, is it?
Yeah, it's not sustainable. Look at Man United with 80 million for Maguire. Surely they could have got a player for 10 million from another league who could have been just as good, if not better. If they really done their homework. But they're lazy. A lot of these teams, they wait for teams like us to go and find these players, and then just go and just pay a premium and go, yeah, we'll have them, rather than go out there and really do their homework themselves. Like Southampton was for Liverpool. Southampton would go and find all these gems, and then Liverpool would just go, yep, we'll sign them. 50 million, he's 30 million, he's 6, that's it. But yeah, I think Bielsa is a student of the game. His scouting system will be on point, and he'll be watching all the other leagues. My uncle was telling me that he would have dossiers on a goalkeeper from the 3rd division in the Dutch league or something. He'd sit in there and have their second choice keeper, and it's madness. So he's obsessed by it. So yeah, I think you guys could definitely find some gems. So it's going to be very interesting. I hope we can sustain this, and if you guys can build on it, next season's going to be interesting. I just want to upset the whole so-called top 6, or the Sky Six, as
Sky Six, yeah,
we like to call them, because they want to finish.
Dan, I tell you what though. So we just put a comment here. We've been robbed of the fans in stadium experience. Can you imagine the atmosphere? And I think I was at Upton Park when we drew 2-2 down there, and we scored in the last minute. I think it was Snodgrass or something who scored for us. Absolute pandemonium. These two clubs. It'd have been an absolute Ellen Road, and I'm gonna have to say it, Dan, as well at Upton Park. And are we gonna have a good atmosphere down at that fishbowl when we're there next year?
Do you know what? It all depends. It's capable of it. Like I've been in. It's mostly been like derbies, like against Chelsea or Tottenham, or if we're doing a really good job against like Man United, like the place can be rocking.
Yeah.
So yeah, if there's a good, it's just not as ideal for that back and forth, like away fans, home fans, back and forth, like. They've tried to just put as much distance as possible, and like where you would be sitting as an away fan, the next bit is mostly like family and stuff. But it can get up for it. Look, because the Leeds fans would definitely be up for it, and I think when that happens, it does push the home fans, and we're trying to get there. But I think next season for sure, I think people just be grateful, just be back at the stadiums. But yeah, Ellen Road, like look, I was really hoping to go there away this season. Because that would be like West Ham there, like because we always have a great away support, and Leeds have a great support as well. So it would be loud, it'd be back and forth. Yeah. So
you think it's going to be? Do you think obviously Leeds are very similar to West Ham, but do you think the sort of like coming to Ellen Road, because obviously we've not been touched by tourism. We've been down there for 16 years and we're coming back. Do you think there's going to be a lot of sort of Premier League teams who are going to come, or they're going to hear Leeds away and going to be quite like, whoa, sort of thing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, because look, even you saw how Wolves were, even Wolves, when they first came up, right? I went to Wolves away on their first season. They were loud. It was a party atmosphere. The whole season was a party atmosphere. Every time, because not only were they happy to be in the Premier League, they were happy to be in the Premier League, and they were happy that what they were seeing was great footballers playing well. And even though you have had a season in the Premier League, like this is you've had that season, so all the fans have got to see the season, they've got to see good football. Now you're finally getting back there. It's going to be a complete party atmosphere. So it could be, yeah, especially look, players haven't been playing in that environment for a year, and then even before, there's not many grounds the season before when you was in the Championship that I can think that would have been like that, loud. Because even the teams where you think like they're old grounds, there's not many teams where, not many stadiums where, yeah, they're just rocking, they're loud, it's traditional stadium, because the traditional stadiums that are left, Aston Villa, they're all right, but they're not one of them teams where when I went to Villa Park, it was rocking like from start to finish. They'll have their spells like most teams, but I think Ellen Road will be like a party atmosphere next season completely. And I think a lot of stadiums probably will, because we'll be grateful to be there. But yeah, I think it's going to be good. And I hope I get to go next season to come away, because I think, yeah, that'll be really good. And I'll try and get my uncle a ticket, see if he can come down and get in the home ground.
We'll have to meet for a pint, mate. Either way, we'll have to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Well, Dan, thank you so much, mate. I've pretty much taken an hour out of your day, but this is what we do on this channel. We try not to keep it 20, 30 minutes. Do you know what, Dan? I know you do it. I know people do it for the likes and the views and the engagement, but I tell you what, Dan, I just love sitting down and talking to opposition fans about football. And I don't want to keep it to a certain amount of time. I just want to keep it as natural as possible. And I really appreciate you coming on, mate. And hopefully we'll do an end of season. We'll do something at the end of the season. And I really appreciate you coming on, mate.
Yeah, no, I'm exactly the same. It's so, because we spend so much time on our channels just talking about our teams and all of that. And it's so nice when you can meet up, when you play someone, you meet up with another team and you get to talk about something different. You get to talk about their team and find out their perspective on your team. And it's good, so good to talk to other fans, because that's why
it's a pub chat, isn't it? It's what we'd be having down at the pub. It's just a chat down there, isn't it?
yeah, that's it. Like I do more videos on on opposition channels than I do other West Ham channels. Like when it's like another team that invite me on, I'm always more eager, because a lot of times it's like, well, I spend all the time speaking about West Ham on my channel, and with other West Ham fans, and it's like now it is nice to talk to other fans. So yeah, I'm the same. You just let it flow, and yeah, it's enjoyable. So yeah, it's going to be hopefully a good game. I'm hoping we win, obviously, but yeah, no, I wish you guys all the best for the season. I hope you guys can get into that top 10 at the very least. I mean, it's so tight around there. You never know. Leeds could go on a run and push on. But whatever happens, like, you'll be in next season. And I think that's the main thing. And I think that is so good, because the worst situation would have been is you got up, no fans could have been in, and then you went bloody back down again. That would have been the worst.
Yeah. Oh God, that'd have been. Oh man, I can't. I'd have stopped following. Well done. I'd have took up hockey or something like that.
No, that's it. But no, it looks like Leeds is here to stay. So
that's it. Yeah. Mate. That's it. Right. Well, you can check Dan out on West Ham Fan TV, where they will have all of your reaction to the Leeds United game with some very unbiased very unbiased fan observations. So go check out Dan and the gang down there.
See our watch along, but I don't know if you do a watch along.
No, I work on match days, so I can't, unfortunately.
All right, yeah,
Go check out West Ham Fan TV's watch along, guys. Only if we're winning, but there you go.
Well, you would have seen it on the last time around. I put the highlights up from the last Leeds game, and the way I was raging after that penalty, I was not happy. Yeah. So check it out.
Top man, mate. Right, Dan, thank you everybody as well for tuning in. If you've just joined, me and Dan have been going I was going for about 10 minutes, and then me and Dan have been going for about 45 minutes. So make sure you go back, watch it on the playback, get your comments in the section below. What's the score going to be? I'm not going to ask Dan because I don't want to be brought down to earth. What's the score going to be? What do you reckon the Leeds lineup's going to be? Apparently Calvin Phillips and Rodrigo are back in the building for the West Ham game. So let us know in the comment section below what you think about that. Dan, thank you so much.
Cheers, mate.
And we'll see you in a bit. Cheers.